So, how am I supposed to remedy this? The worst that could possibly happen happened in this vlog, and I don't really know how to remedy it other than refilming. So, I'm going to go back for a little bit. Welcome to today's video. This is supposed to be reading vlog number 2 for my Roll for Read series, wherein I film every week for the month of May. Every week, I'm going to put up a reading vlog, reading 4 to 5 books from my TBR, rolling a d20, and I accidentally deleted the wrong video clip. Like, I deleted the whole 25 minutes of me explaining the TBR for this week. It was actually, you didn't really miss so much because it was utterly chaos and I was thinking of redoing it. However, I have already rolled the dice, and then I was editing last week's video, and I accidentally, like, last week's video was 25 minutes, and then the first unedited clip of this intro was also 25 minutes. So I think I made a mistake and deleted the raw footage of this intro. So already, you didn't really miss much because it's also chaos as I'm beginning this. However, as I've said, I've already rolled. It is currently Monday today, so election day. Do not mind the indelible ink on my finger. It means that I have voted for this year's election, and I don't know what else to do. It is only today that I realized that I did not, or like, I deleted the intro to this video because I was planning to edit part of this video before Thursday rolls around. It's Monday today, as I said. So I've already lost 3 days of, not necessarily 3 days, because I do still have like the footage of me after reading 2 of the books. So what I'm going to do today, right now, is to give you a brief synopsis of the TBR. Um, it's no longer roll for reads, I guess, for this intro, but I still did roll for the dice. You just have to trust me on that. But I'm just going to show you the TBR that I have rolled in that lost footage, and I will cut back to the updates and then just come back for the next updates, I guess. So anyway, what you see as the color orange highlighted are those that I've actually finished reading for this week. So if memory serves correctly, the first book that I have rolled was, I believe it was The Setting Sun, so the number 13 by Dazai Osamu. And it is a classic about the nobility during the time wherein there is a transition from feudal Japan to a more industrialized society. And it follows a female main character who has to adjust to her new environment of not being a noble woman anymore. They have lost their nobility, their wealth, and she has to navigate through her life, taking care of a sick mother and trying to do her best to live as normally as she possibly could, and wanting more for herself, I guess, for her future. And that is the first book that we rolled. The second one, I believe I did manage to get in at 20. And during the first time I filmed this video, it was super chaotic because I keep rolling the same numbers over and over again. I wish I could have saved that one part wherein I was trying to pick for the last book, and I keep repeating it because I keep landing on numbers that we already got. And so, what during that video, I was thinking of, if ever I'm going to land on a 20 again after the traders here, I am going to replace this, because 20 being the highest number, rare occasion to land it, I wanted to like have some sort of like replacement book for it by chance. But as I was doing this, like, it's already Monday and I've thought about that situation for next video, I might end up just making replacements for all of the numbers that we have already finished. So the second one, as I've said, that we have rolled is The Traders, by Carissa and Lynch, I believe is the name. It is one of like my favorite tropes, I guess, in murder mysteries, wherein in this book there are 6 people that were invited to this castle reopening, I guess, after a couple of years after the incident of an axe murder, a gruesome axe murder that happened in this location. And the 6 people that were invited may or may not have something connected to that incident or to this place. and it's a very much whodunit situation. They are there, invited. The six of them were invited there, and um, if they survive 24 hours in that castle, they split $1 million basically, and you get to meet the six people and their backgrounds and why they were called the traitors. And it, I guess I will leave my review of that book to myself in the past, I guess, because I've finished this already and I've already filmed my reaction to this book. The next one I believe I rolled was it was supposed to be House of Open Wounds, and when I rolled this and read the synopsis, I did not realize that this was book two of the series by Adrian Tchaikovsky. And the first one is supposed to be City of Last Chances. If I recall correctly, the synopsis of this is like there's war, and I actually read the synopsis of the second book, so it's more of like wartime medic perspective of a medic, I guess. And I really love it when like fantasy you're in the perspective of like the healer, and you don't really get that much like wartime medics, wartime healers rather. And I would love to try to get to this book, even though it is in the chunkier side, and I it's like the least priority of all of the books that I have here. I did like thought about carrying over all of the books that I have not finished from last week to this week. So Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky, as well as Atalanta by Jennifer Saint, are still in the TBR for this week. And then I believe I rolled Notes on an Execution by, I forgot the author's name. I don't have a spare phone here to check, but this is the next book actually that I'm reading. I'm currently reading this one. It has been in my TBR for quite some time now because it has been talked a lot in BookTube, in Instagram. Like it's one of the most, not most, but it's a very read book in social media that I find interesting. It is about a man in death row, and his life is being talked, or like we're seeing an insight on his life through the perspective of the women that is in his life. So I'm going through that as of the moment. And then I believe the last one, if I'm not mistaken, is The Walking Practice by Dol Kim Min. This one is pretty much a shorter book about an alien who crashed in South Korea, and they are trying to become a little bit more human every time. And it's very much a graphic book, very sexual, very rated PG, and it's very much like them trying to, as the title says, walking practice. Because also I have read this book, and this is like the next one that I am going to review, and it's more or less about this alien trying to learn to adapt to its environment and what it really means to be human, basically. So I believe that's it for the TBR. And currently, I finished three of the five that we have rolled, supposedly. And then I have basically four books left in my TBR that I'm able to choose from for the remaining 4 days left in this reading vlog. So I'm going to come back and update. I'm going to put in the updates that I have already filmed and all of the clips that I have already filmed. I'm so sad that we're not able to like roll on camera because of my little mistake here. But in any case, life goes on. I have a lot of clips that I would like to share throughout all of this vlog. That's why I don't really want to scrap this week's reading vlog. So we're just going to come back with updates. Hello, I am back for another update. I wonder if you could hear like me having like the boiler on in the background. I hope that the noise canceling can do its magic. I am in the middle of actually making chicken broth for tomorrow for Mother's Day for my like mini not so surprise anymore sort of meal for my mom, because she already knows because she's here while I'm cooking. But in any case, I am here for an update. I have a lot of stuff to do, so I'm doing multiple things at the same time. And I'm here, as I said, to update on the two books that I actually finished reading. Today is Saturday as I'm filming this, so I did manage to knock out two books in the past 2 days, which is fun. The first one being The Traitors by Carissa Ann, what is her name again? I think I wrote it down. I haven't really been, as you can see, writing all of like my reviews yet for even the previous um, video. But Carissa Ann Lynch, The Traders, I gave this 2.75 for my rating. It wasn't really that amazing. I really do enjoy like that sort of trope, as I've said in the introduction while I was explaining all of these books. I really like the closed door, like a manor, mansion, cottage, whatever sort of establishment, wherein a couple of people were invited and then a murder happens, and one of them is like either a traitor or the murderer themselves. And it felt underwhelming. Like it was kind of intriguing at first with how all of these six people that are invited to this opening of this castle where a gruesome axe murder happened years ago, and it's just not that interesting for like the motive, or maybe it was interesting for the motive, but the execution of whatever happened in the ending just did not feel that interesting to me. It was sort of okay. So 2.75 stars for The Traders. It was still a fine read. I finished it in a day. Um, it gave me a similar like grip on like The Housemaid, wherein I really want to know what happens in the end. Like popcorn read, sort of murder mystery crime book. However, it's just that the follow through wasn't really that great for me. And then the next book that I finished is The Setting Sun by Dazai Osamu, classic Japanese writer, translated. And my God, when I read the first half, like the first three chapters in like ebook form, and then I found an audiobook of it on YouTube, and I decided to like audiobook it because I still have like I showed this in a previous like the previous roll for reads, and I'm halfway done with the bandana for my or like headband for my best friend, and I just wanted to get more of the rows done, so I try to choose audiobooks as much as I can for this. So when I found the audiobook for The Setting Sun, I was like, I'm going to transfer or change my format and just listen to the audiobook while in it. And basically, it's about like this noble family wherein it's transitioned from feudal class or like the feudal era to a more industrial era. So there's no more lords and ladies, no more nobility that rules over a couple of lands, I guess. And it's there like trying to transition and adapt to what happened to their lives, and it's not always like extravagance. The main character, was it Kazuko? I forgot her name, but the main character is trying to adjust to her from her home in Tokyo to this outback countryside where they have to grow their own food. Her mother is like very sick. The father already died previously, so it's only her mom and her brother left in her life, and um, she is a little bit older of a character, a little bit older of a character. We're basically the same age. She's 29 and she is struggling basically on like what her direction in life is going. She wants more from her life. However, she doesn't have the means as a woman during that time in history, in that society, to do all of the stuff that she wanted to do and what she dreamed of, especially caring for a sickly mother. And yeah, it was heartbreaking. I forgot if I gave this a 3 star or a 3.5. I believe I gave it a 3 star. It was heartbreaking, but there are a lot of moments wherein um, I feel like she could have chosen differently, and also the brother could have chosen differently. However, it's like different people cope differently, and it's just a part of history, I guess. Like one small account of a person going through that time in history, like during the war period. And yeah, so far I am kind of underwhelmed and kind of disappointed. I would have loved to get like a 4 or 5 star read out of one of these vlogs eventually. So the two choices from this week is like walking practice and notes on execution. I don't think I'm able to dive into City of Last Chances just yet because of how busy I am. But probably the next one that I'm going to be reading is Walking Practice, just because it's shorter compared to the other two. I will still probably try my best to read Atalanta, maybe even before City of Last Chances. I will do Atalanta, and we'll see. we'll see where this weekend takes me because I still have a lot of stuff to do. So I'll update you guys once I have anything to update or if I finish any of the books. So, Kate, I am back from filming the intro for this video. So that's like you could tell now the timeline of me filming all of the clips here. But in any case, I have finished reading Walking Practice by Dolki Min. It is a strange one. I would like to show you the page that I prepped for this. My God. I did finish some of the pages from last week's vlog as well as this week, so I'll give you a little bit of like a flip through of all of the books that I've finished. Yeah, I gave it a 2.5 stars. Or I believe I gave it 2.75 or 2.5. Anyways, Walking Practice was intense. At the very beginning of the book, it was already intense. Not to spoil too much, but in order for the main character, the alien, to survive, they have to like prey on humans. And they have like this very elaborate system, a very elaborate schedule on how they do hunting, I guess. And it was quite interesting at first, very gore, very horrific, but then it starts to get very existential crisis near the end. The main character does address the reader, and you have to like, what do you call this? They try to make you think in their perspective and also show how much they struggled just because they landed on Earth, their planet was destroyed, and they I guess give backgrounds as to what they look like, where they come from, and what they want going forward. And I don't know how to react to it. Basically, I don't know how to react to it. Um, Definitely horror, definitely gore. And there is this one time previously in like an older video, when I still was like doing anime reviews. I do like horror, very psychological horror, gore. I tend to seek out like anime and manga that are like very much horrific, and I tend to not understand during that time why is it that horror needs to involve something pretty much sexual. And I don't think it necessarily needs to be, but those types of things really are horrific, I guess, so that's why they are categorized as horror. And yeah, it was not really for me. I just find it um, amusing, hilarious, I guess, that one of the dates that this main character alien of ours happens to be on was on the 16th floor, and all they wanted was like to feel loved, basically. This alien just wants companionship and wants to feel loved. And they commented like the house or like the apartment was on the 16th floor and the elevator was broken down, and they were made to walk all 16 flights of stairs, maybe probably more, and they were struggling so hard. And it's like no lover of mine will be living on the 16th floor of an apartment. And I don't know why it cracks me up. But in any case, um, I am now currently reading Notes on an Execution. I actually just started it a couple of hours ago, just a few sentences. If I'm being honest, I really wish that I had an audiobook of this because I would like to do a little bit more crochet and knitting, if I'm being honest, or like something to do with my hands while I'm listening to an audiobook. However, I could not get an audiobook of Notes on an Execution as of the moment, so we're reading it. And I did manage to finish last night the headband for my best friend, as well as updating on the book blanket of April and some of May. I'm actually quite updated until walking practice. So this is probably the first time that I'm pretty much updated with my reading blanket or book blanket, and I'm just going to show it like maybe at the end of the vlog. Who knows? I actually forgot to take it out today before filming this video. So yeah, I will update more soon. I am hoping to get through Notes on an Execution in like a day or two, and then maybe try for Atalanta or City of Last Chances. I'm hoping to get at least one more after Notes on Execution for this. I'm actually saddened by the fact that I am going to end this vlog prematurely. Today is Wednesday as I'm filming this last part of the vlog, and it just so happens that I am going out tomorrow, and the weekend is also going to be busy, and I might not have enough time to edit in between two vlogs. So I'm ending this second reading vlog of May today on a Wednesday, and going to start filming my third one basically as an introduction so that we could get the ball rolling for next week. But in any case, I am quite disappointed that I was only able to finish like a couple of books for this week. I finished, oops, spoiler for next week. I did finish 3 out of the 7 because I do carry over Crime and Punishment as well as Atalanta from last week. But I'm thinking like I do still want to read. It just so happens that I want to start the next week one. So basically, we read The Traders. I gave a 2.75 stars. The Setting Sun, I gave a 3 star, and Walking Practice, I gave a 2.75. I was super like go 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 when it comes to the first part of the week. However, things have been super busy, I guess, with stuff in work, with stuff at work, with the elections, and then I'm going on a sale tomorrow because I need to make purchases for the house, and it's just chaotic, and I just want to get this video edited and put out there. But still, it is a win for me this week. Not maybe in the reading aspect, even though 3 out of 7 is okay for me. I am still in the middle of Notes on an Execution. It just so happens that it doesn't grip me as much. So I actually went ahead and started another like book in the background sort of situation. I didn't even touch Crime and Punishment, which maybe is the only thing that I feel is kind of I feel bad about, because I really wanted to like make a dent with that book throughout the month of May. Even if I won't finish it, at least I will get a decent chunk out of it. Sadly, I did not even start it. And the book in the background that I actually started is The Appeal by Janice Hallett. I even added it to, I believe I added it to the new one for next week. So look forward to that with whatever this flap of a paper is for next week's Roll for Reads. I promise next week's video will have a dice roll and not accidentally delete the intro of next week's video. Cross fingers, I won't make a mistake again. But even if I did not win in the reading aspect of this reading vlog, this week has been a great week for me learning new recipes. I did manage to cook like bacon wrap enoki mushrooms. I also made like the pancit molo that my aunt used to make for my mother during special occasions because it's her favorite food, and I managed to be able to like cook it in a way that is decent enough for my first try. And my mom basically ate like 4 bowls of it, which makes me very happy. And then I also finished like making like for the remaining leftovers that I have for pancit molo, I was able to make mushroom stuffed cabbage rolls. And it's one of those recipes that are easy to make, quick to do, that I have been eyeing on throughout like me scrolling through reels and YouTube shorts. I just really love collecting quick and easy recipes basically to spice up like our usual meal plans. And so yeah, that is it. Thank you so much for hanging out with me on this very chaotic weekly reading vlog. I hope to do better next week, and I hope I will be able to read more books next week because I'm still pretty much raring to go and to read more books. And yeah, thank you again, and I will see you in the next video. So until then, guys, take care and bye.